Now we're going to be using the tables that we have to create our forms. In order to do this, we go to create and look for the forms ribbon, and we're going to be creating our forms using the form wizard. So click on the form wizard. When that pops up, we're going to be choosing each table to design our form from. So the first one is our biodata. I'm going to carry across all the fields, and I'm going to click next, and I'm going to choose one of these to do it. Then I'm going to hit next, and I can name my form here. We can at this point choose to modify the design, or we can open the form to see what it looks like. I'm going to open the form to see what it looks like and see if I need to make any modification. So I'm going to hit finish, and this is what my form looks like. So now we have a form wherein we can enter data as we feel like. If we are not so welcoming of this design and we wish to make changes, we can always go to our view, choose design view, and here we can make modifications to our form. We can pull the different fields in. For example, we can choose to pull the fields in to wherever we like. Phone number. We can also move them around just as you would move objects around in the other applications. Since email address tends to be a bit long, I'm going to allow the email address to remain the same. We can go ahead and do things like adding photos to our form if we want to give our form a nice little background so that it look nice and not just look blank. But we're going to look at it now to see what it looks like. So this is what our form looks like, and at this stage it is ready to enter data. We can put in data inside our form, and we, after completing the forms, we are going to look at how we go ahead and enter data inside each form that we have. To enter a photo or image onto our form, I'm going to go back to the design view, and here I am going to choose this icon that says image, draw out the space that I want my image to be at. It's gonna pop up my pictures, or wherever you would have saved the picture if you have pictures, wherever you have the pictures. And I'm going to use this one that says carnival to represent it, and then I'm going to look at it to see that it suits what I want it to be. I can move this around if I want, but all of that will have to be done in the design view. I can let it be as big as this area here if I so decided. I have gone ahead and created all my forms. So we have our biodata, we have our medical form, we also have our payment form. And at this point, I am going to be filling in the data just as you would with a regular. So I am going to treat each one like I would by entering data. So I'm going to start off with the first one. I'm just going to add a number here. I'm going to just use simple incremental numbers just to make it easy. So the first client and their name. Move on to the next part. Date of birth, and enter the date of birth using this method. The 10th day of the second month in 1984. For the phone number, 123 You can make it as realistic as possible. Email address, Then I'm going to move on to enter in my next record by creating the icon here that says blank or new record. Now I'm going to enter number 2 and continue, and I'll be filling out each of my tables just the same. I'm going to be using 5 records so that we can see how the data works. And remember now, whatever number you would have given as ID, so here on the medical form, if I go to this one, the first number was 1 because that's the ID that I'm using, and that was for Dawkins, and his doctor's name is Dr. Peart, the number for the doctor. Yeah, an emergency contact, the emergencies number, and for medical conditions we can choose make choices, click OK, and for payment we will do the same thing. So number 1, which represents my ID number, the bank that is used, the CCV, which is a 3 number, and the amount paid. So this would mean that I have records for this person here, and I can fill these out individually each time. I'm going to go ahead now and fill out all the data for my persons. So now I have completed all the records. So my payment records have 5 records inside there. My medical have 5 records. My biodata have 5 records in each of the forms, and I can just go back to my tables to view a greater view of everything that is here. So if I click on each of these tables, I am now able to see all the data that I have entered. So my forms and my tables have all been aligned. So my tables were being populated using the form, as you would have seen how I did the form, and I can go ahead and enter new data in the form if I feel like, by going to the last and start entering data again. Alright, so that is how that part is done.